Modi-Trump meeting, civil nuclear deal on the agenda, no clarity on nuclear reactors. What is Indo-US civil nuclear deal? What is its significance? Why Indo-US nuclear deal is taking so much long time to come into reality? Why India has not been able to buy a single foreign nuclear reactor under the new liability law? Why is Indo-US civil nuclear deal most important from Indian point of view? GS Paper 2, Bilateral, Regional and Global Groupings and Agreements involving India and or affecting India's interests. What is the context about? The Indo-US civil nuclear deal is expected to figure during talks between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Donald Trump. But a pact between the Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited, NPCIL, and Westinghouse to build 6 power reactors in Andhra Pradesh is unlikely to be signed. What is Indo-US civil nuclear deal? Indo-US civil nuclear deal was signed in 2005, with the main objective of augmenting India's energy security by importing high-priced, foreign fuel-dependent reactors. The deal is yet to see commercial operationalization even after 12 years. Why Indo-US nuclear deal is taking so much long time to come into reality? The Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act passed in 2010, according to the US, has been the major reason why the deal has not moved forward. The Indian liability law holds the suppliers directly liable in case of a nuclear accident, while countries like France and the US have asked India to follow global norms under which the primary liability is with the operator. Another contentious clause in the liability law was unlimited liability, for which international companies will find it difficult to get insurers. As far as diluting the liability law is concerned, there is strong objections to it within the country, while the US and nuclear reactor suppliers feel that they would not be able to do the business without it. Thus India-US nuclear deal is taking so much long time to come into reality. Why India has not been able to buy a single foreign nuclear reactor under the new liability law? The global norm is for the reactor operator to be liable to compensate victims in case of an accident. If a component supplier is at fault, the operator can sue the supplier, but this would be a different track. In India, however, the reactor operator is the state-owned NPCIL, so all the liability in case of an accident would devolve on the Indian government. In theory, NPCIL could afterwards sue a foreign or domestic component supplier if they are at fault. All reactors are made of thousands of components made by different firms around the world. Owing to this law, if one key supplier refuses to accept the liability, the entire reactor sale is stalled. Why is Indo-US civil nuclear deal most important from Indian point of view? We have a huge energy deficit, and if Indian economy is to grow and develop, we need to bridge this gap. Coal is not a solution, nor is hydro or wind. They can only serve to augment. And while solar is perpetual, technology is still not developed to tap it. Nuclear power is not an option, it's a requirement. Indian nuclear program and the dependence on thorium. We are only in our first stage yet, and we need outside support to move to stage 2 and stage 3, which utilized thorium. India has one of the largest reserves of thorium in the world. What is the significance of the deal? It was signed at the time the whole world had sanctioned India to supply nuclear fuel, but after this deal slowly every country, like EU, Australia and Japan, removed their sanctions. This deal opened the way of India to trade with the US and its allies. India will get foreign reactors, which serve multiple purposes. But much more than that, they will expose us to the advanced nuclear technology,